Hey, you looking for a horror movie comedy podcast with a twist?
Well, this is Kim Ket Stay Alive. Maybe?
So each week, one of us picks a horror movie and tells it to the other, breaking it down and at key points, giving the other a chance to say what they would do to stay alive.
And I was like, "What?" We solemnly swear to rarely get the names of characters right.
Principal, Princess Vulcan.
No, Princess Vulcan's not, I'm sorry. And to periodically serenade you.
It's like My Favorite Murder and How Did This Get Made had a kid.
A weird, spooky kid who laughs inappropriately.
No, I hate when people crawl on the ceiling.
Well, they're my nightmares.
It's Kim Ket Stay Alive.
Maybe?
Download wherever you listen to podcasts.
Follow us on social media at KK Podcast. Bye!
Ghosted me.
I'm done.
Hello? I can't hear you.
That's bad. We literally just started the show.
I can hear you now.
Okay, we're back. And we're back. What a way to start. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls all around. This is a show where we talk about impossible things and how to survive them. And what more impossible thing that there possibly could ever be than that of love. And again, just in time, same as last year, she's back, the one, the only, the much requested, the quite lovely Kim Burns.
Hello.
Kim and Ket Stay Alive.
Maybe.
Comedy core podcast.
It's a horror movie comedy podcast.
Or comedy. Where one of the girls tells the other girl a story or tells a whole movie and spoils it and try to see if they play a little game and try to see if they survive or not. You no doubt heard the ad for it right before this because I literally got it lined up right before this. I don't know why I had to go through all that, but I did. It's a great show. You should listen to it. If you're not listening to it, what are you even doing with your life? You will never find love ever unless you follow KK Sam. So, Kim, how you been?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm fine. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Oh, you keep going in and out.
Oh, it's the gift of Valentine's Day. You only have to hear me half the time.
What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Putting me on the spot. That's fast.
It's just a question.
Valentine's Day is, of course, today. There's no way we're recording this in advance. I have no idea. It's bad. Yup. What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Oh, well, I am doing a dating detox this this month, I should say. So,
Market.
What?
You're off the market.
I'm off the market. So, yeah, I have nothing planned. I'm actually, turns out, just because of it's like President's Day weekend or something, I'm going to visit my parents in Arizona. So
Nice.
my brother, wife, and kids are flying out, and so I'm going to go see them. So I think I leave that morning because it's just the Friday of that weekend. So going to see my family.
Eligible bachelors of LA, I'm sorry, but you missed your window. You'll have to wait till next month.
Yep. Do you know that last year, since we recorded so far in advance, we didn't know, but last year on Valentine's Day, I went on a first date.
I commend you, because
It was actually nice.
that's awesome. Because that's a great story if it works out, you know?
I know, clearly it didn't, but
No regrets. No regrets.
but yeah, I mean, he picked me up in Aston Martin, so I was like, okay.
Right? And make sure it's not a Decepticon transform you. Take the moon.
Took me to Beverly Hills. It was a very fancy Valentine's Day.
Good. Well, see, last Valentine's Day, I probably sat on the couch with some microwave Tyson's chicken, you know, the good stuff. Mixed ketchup and mayonnaise together and just went to town on my sad sack self. So I would have rather a handsome man from Beverly Hills pull up and pick me up in an Aston Martin on Valentine's Day.
Well, that would have been me this year if I didn't have family plans. So
Family for sure.
yeah.
So let's see. Well, it's funny that on the day we're supposed to get together to do this podcast for Valentine's Day, the universe is trying like hell to keep us apart.
It is.
No, I will get home, which I failed to get home. But
it's so crazy. You need to tell the story. This is so weird.
It's not like a meteor hit, though I wish it had, or anything like that. Some finger joints, and the spoiler alert, I'm from West Virginia. If you've never listened to the show before, welcome. That's my accent. Of the bridge on the I-64 westbound bridge towards Charleston, which is our capital, they came apart, and they showed pictures of it on the news, and there's actually like a gap. You could see the water of the river below the bridge.
Ah.
Yeah, so they had to, and people were talking about how when they went over the bridge, they felt a big ka-thunk.
Oh my God, that is fucking terrifying.
It is, and I thought bridges were thicker than that. Apparently not, because it did not seem like there was a lot of concrete in between vehicular traffic and death. But they closed the bridge down, and the exit to my city where I live, that's where all the traffic got detoured to. And so everyone that needed to go to Charleston basically needed to double back, go through my hometown and then several other cities on a different route to get to the capital city, which if there was no traffic would take you probably an extra 30, 45 minutes. But because there were so many people and it was at rush hour, lady on the news that said she'd been in the same spot for 5 hours.
Oh so, my God.
Right now, it's still jammed. It would still take me over an hour to get home if I left right now. And I live 15 minutes. Well, I live 20 minutes away with no traffic.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
So I'm recording to you, dear listener, from my father's office in his lovely home. Hi, Mom. She's not in the room, but obligatory hi, Mom post there.
I love
Yeah. So yeah, I'm without my podcasting equipment. I don't have the fancy microphone or the headphones or any of the cool shit that it took forever to accumulate, and then I start using it, and then it's been ripped away from me. Oh, and they said it'll take another 48 hours to fix the bridge. So I don't know how I'm gonna get to work tomorrow or get home tomorrow. But we're here. We're doing the show anyway. Thanks for listening. And Kim, thank you so much for you.
You're welcome. Happy to be here. What?
Presence is a gift.
Oh, thank you.
So I know anyone that's been listening to the show, though, has got to be asking, did I take Kim's advice on my Tinder profile?
Ooh, I can't wait to hear.
Last year, we went through our dating profiles. I really don't recall having any pointers for your profile because it was basically perfect.
I can show you my updated one if you'd like to see it.
What was I going to say? I did, of course, take Kim's advice, and I've been on, oh gosh, I didn't keep a tally of how many dates I've been on. Your boy gets out. Like, I did okay. Nothing stuck for over a month, though, seems like. I'd meet a girl, and then she'd be, like, awesome, and then most of the time it was just, like, just slam cut, no more.
Yeah, been there.
This time, so. Which is shocking to me that you say that. But I got tired of all the other apps, and I saw an ad for one called Hinge, and I got on it, and the first or second girl I matched with is now my girlfriend.
Yay! So exciting! Congrats, Brett.
If I was at home, I could have had my little party message. Friend, we're just over a month, so we're past the dreaded ghosting period. Although, knock on wood. I did try to get on the inner circle, Kim, but I don't think that I was inner circle material according to them, because they never got around to that approval process.
Rude. They might have people where you are, though.
True. Very true. We remarked on the astounding amount of people in your area versus mine.
Yes.
That you didn't know that you could run out of people to swipe on.
I know, that's insane to me.
I ran out every day. I was like, okay, here's 5 people. I guess I'm done.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. I'm sure we talked about it last year, but that's one of the problems that people find dating in LA is because people are like, it's endless. Like, there's always someone new around the corner,
Well, I think that's preferable as opposed to having no options and eating Tyson's chicken on your couch alone.
The grass is always greener.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I have a girlfriend, and tying back into the story about the bridge and me being stranded away from home, which I met my parents because they live in the opposite direction, so I was actually able to get here after a while. But so when I went to work, I went in wearing my rattiest pair of gray sweats with my rattiest pair of knock-around tennis shoes and just a crummy old muscle shirt. And that's it. That's all I have on my back. And tomorrow, keep in mind that bridge is supposed to be under construction for 48 hours. Saturday morning, I'm supposed to meet the parents.
Oh my God! Oh, Brett.
Currently, full disclosure, Kim is looking upon my shirtless body.
It's true.
She's a trooper. She really does, putting up with a guy like me. Oh my gosh, I don't know how she does it. But yeah, because my clothes are in the washer right now, and I guess I'm gonna have to probably meet the parents looking. Oh, and I need a shave. Like, you can see all my stubble. Like, I look very much like a guy that's gonna ask you for $1 on an underpass. Hey, do you got any used syringes you're not using at the moment? Like, that's what I look like.
I feel like you need to pony up and buy an outfit for Saturday. You cannot wear that.
Oh, that didn't even occur to me to like stop at a store and just buy new clothes. Didn't even occur to me at all. Like,
oh, Brett, how have you survived this year without me?
I don't know. You're always with me in my heart. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I think you need to. You gotta look nice.
I make it a point to do my best to look nice, but it's midweek. Like, it's a work week. I usually shave. Tonight's the night when I usually shave and do that sort of stuff. But
Has she met your parents yet?
She has. She met them on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, nice. How'd that go?
It went well. I mean, there's really no story to it. She came over, we ate a bunch of junk food and watched football, and so it went all right. She's probably going to listen to this show. So hi, Ashley.
Hi. Her name Ashley.
Huh?
What's her name? Ashley.
Yeah.
Hi, Ashley.
Yeah, she'll probably be mad at me for later in the show too. But so how's it going? How's it going with dating Sebastian?
How's it going? Okay. So here's what's going. I have dated many, many men over the last year and find that I consistently date people that are not ready in one way, shape, or form. Like often someone that's just got out of a relationship or just like isn't emotionally ready or whatever. We just like, some people, they're fine and like I just don't like them or they aren't into me, whatever, that's fine. But when I am into someone, it usually ends because they're like, I'm not ready. And I was like, what the fuck is that about? Like, and you know how like they say like what a lot of times what you bring in is like what's going on with you, kind of. Do you know that? So like I was like, what part of me is not ready? And I was like, I feel like I'm fucking ready, dude. Like I've done all the work. Like I really work on myself a lot. Like I am, an amazing chick. I'm a fucking catch. And I feel like I'm ready. But so this is something that's about to come out on my podcast. Well, I guess we're in the past future. So basically it'll come out this Wednesday for us. So it's upcoming Wednesday, and it'll be like last Wednesday for Valentine's Day.
But if it hasn't come out this past Wednesday, check back in next Wednesday. Just keep listening.
No, it definitely comes out like this week, so you'll hear it. But basically, it came to my attention, this book, and I was like, oh, fuck, I have that book. I've had it for like 7 years, and I've never read it. And I was like, I feel like I should read it. Seems like a sign. And so it's a book called Facing Love Addiction. And it's a lot about like codependency, which is stuff I've worked on in the past. But love addiction is like a little side shoot of codependency. And they say that even if you work on codependency, this can be hanging on a little bit with your relationships. And when I read the book, I like fucking cried. Well, I listened to it, but because it's me to a T. Like it's such a description of like how I work. It's a description of like how I grew up. Like they say the causes of it is like very specific things that are like exactly my life. So that's why I'm taking a dating detox, because I feel like I'm a little bit of a love addict, and I want to kind of go through the withdrawals and work on myself a little bit this month, and that's what I'm doing. So.
You just such a person. I would love to come to LA and slap every man in the face, point at you and say, do you see this woman here? She is a goddess. And how dare you? And the guy will, what are you doing? And I'm sorry. He'll be like, what are you doing, mate?
They're Australian.
I'm Australian kind of intermingle there.
Oh, thank you.
They're ridiculous. Well, shoot.
That's where I'm at. I know it's weird, right? But I have many a dating tale, I'm sure, to tell.
I only dated. You know what? I feel like a lot, even through past last year. Before the first time we talked, a lot of the people I dated were people with baggage from previous relationships who turned out not to be ready and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you end up being a rebound or whatever for their next relationship, and that it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks, and it's never good. It's just like I was one girl, and we hit it off on every level, from like interests common interests to like what we on the weekend, what shows we're watching on the TV or whatever. And then we made plans to do something, and then literally 12 hours later, woke up, said good morning, and never heard from her again.
Yeah.
Blocked on Facebook, like, okay.
Crazy.
I mean, she doesn't owe me, nobody owes anybody. She doesn't owe me an explanation as to why. It's kind of shitty when you're just like, hey, like, just say something.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good to not know or just not,
But unfortunately, the whole ass. Kim.
Yes.
Where do we go now?
Where do we go? Where do we go now?
Where do we go now? Like I said.
Did my answer ruin your future questions?
Well, part of it is a lot of the questions are in my brain, and I'm struggling to pull them to the forefront because all my notes are at my aforementioned home that I can't get to. So we're just knocking this sucker down as best. We did almost 20 minutes before my brain finally just completely stalled. Oh, dating stories. You got any good ones from the past year? Like anything crazy? Because I got one.
Okay.
You should write it down so I don't forget to say it.
I'm trying to think. The Aston Martin was that was like unexpected. I was like, damn. Definitely dated all kinds of guys. Like I dated like hippies and like sober people and rich guys and like fucking musicians, like a whole bunch of everything. I mean, there's nothing compared to my third date to Mexico. That's hard to beat. I think I talked about that last year, right?
You did. That's like an ultimate baller thing. Hey, let's just go to on an extended holiday in another country.
Yeah.
I would not be able to flex like that.
I wonder where we were in that story, because he ghosted me.
I recall.
But since then, we've talked. He's come back. He's come back from the dead and apologized profusely. He sent me a very, very long text message apologizing and saying that there was no excuse, et cetera, and then asked if we could get together one time when he was in LA. And so we grabbed a drink, and he like told me what happened, and there really was nothing. Like it was just, he's like, there's no excuse, and that was it. So that did end well, I guess. Trying to think if there's anything else like crazy. It's mostly just been, one heartache after another.
Breaking my heart. If you ever are interested in fat West Virginia guys with lots of tattoos, holler at me. I'll pack the show up, move out to LA.
You're off the market.
My crazy story was, I have like a golden rule, which is don't date at your neighbors and don't date at work. Because if it was bad, then it just leads to problems.
Yeah, been there.
So I dated someone from work.
Uh-huh.
I really, really liked her very, very much. But it was one of those relationships that started like 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
But then it hit like a brick wall and crashed into like a billion fiery pieces because we were different. Other than work, we were different in virtually every other way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want this show to be political at all, but I'd be like, can you believe what fucking Trump did today? And she'd be like, I like Trump. I'd be like,
ooh.
Or like, you like them Democrats are no better. And I'm like,
I mean, that's for me as a deal breaker, 100. Oof.
Usually don't expect that coming from opposite sex, or you don't usually expect that from
I was
women.
just gonna say that. I was like, and almost more so with a woman, because I'm just like, are you? It makes me. I don't know. I don't want to be rude.
Yeah. Primarily conservative area.
But I'm just like, he hates women, right? He hates you. He hates you, and all of his policies are against you.
Fake news.
What?
You get the fake news.
Okay. Right.
Or the he's doing better than XYZ, or just because you hate like his personal life, he's trying to do this, that, but they're doing this to him.
Oh my God.
It's nuts. But, I pushed it aside because I'm like, political leanings, it really doesn't matter. We can work through that. It's not a huge deal. Or at least so I thought. But we were just from such different walks of life and our like values and stuff.
Yeah, because I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Well, also, like, I'm not a religious person at all. So, like, we would just, all right, I've never been in a relationship where have you ever seen someone at the bar with that and they're like screaming in each other's faces?
Yeah.
Like, I've never had that, thankfully.
Yeah, me neither.
Now I have.
Oh.
Because that's exactly, we would get into these huge screaming in your face arguments. And I don't even know. And then somehow, like, it was usually something would happen. And then the fight would start. And then every single time at the end of it, it would get turned around to me like it was my fault. And I was the one that always had to say, I'm sorry. So, like, the last night, I looked at my phone. I was checking my phone. I was responding to a message or whatever. And she was playing pool at the bar. And she hits me in the eyeball with the cue stick. And
what?
Like, she goes back, like, to do a shot. And the back of this cue stick, the pool stick, clocks me into my open eyeball.
Ouch.
So then I'm like, ah! And she sits down and crosses her arms and just goes silent. And I'm sitting there like rubbing my eye. I'm go, why are you mad? And she started screaming about me for being on the phone.
Oh my God.
I'll admit it. I'm on the phone a lot, too much. But that started a fight, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out of here. And then I started to walk home, which was a very long way away. But she yelled at me that I'm the designated driver. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, all right, you're right. Let me drive you home. And then she wouldn't drive her home. Then I did drive her home, which I needed to do that anyway because we took her car and my keys were in her living room. So I'm trying to leave the situation. I get in my car. She won't let me shut the door. She's standing in the way and just, I went immediately to bed and woke up to like 1,000 text messages and voicemails, and it was bad. And we did, and she didn't want to, but I was like, that's it. Like, we fight way too much. So
yeah, that's too much drama.
It was, and I still like her very much. She's a very nice person. We just avoid each other at work like the plague. I've seen her like maybe twice since then, and that was like 3 or 4 months ago. And she was nice enough to like a week later send an apology, like, hey, like, because she was just coming off a divorce, like, hey, I'm sorry I carried my baggage into that and my paranoia. Because she would do things, go through like 2 years of my Facebook and be like, who's this girl that liked this one post a year ago? Or you put a heart reaction on this girl's post.
Yeah, no, that's definitely some stuff she has to work through for sure. Wait, I can't hear you again.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, wait, you're back.
Hey, I'm back. And she said she was sorry. And Then she said, it won't affect me getting any promotions at work. And I was like, face in my hands. Oh, I'm such an idiot.
Whoa.
Shit.
Oh boy, that's a story.
So that was my nutty dating experiences of the year.
Okay, I thought of two.
Okay, great.
Okay, so one is someone definitely took me on a date to like what felt like a cult. I mean, I don't think it's like a real cult, but it was very culty. Actually, a lot of his dates felt culty.
Oh, no, Kim.
And like a lot of groups he was part of were pretty culty, and he kept trying to have me go to the one that he liked the most, but I like just didn't want to go. Like it didn't sound like something I was interested in. And yeah, like he took me once to like a churchy kind of thing, and that felt culty. And then once to like a little group sing along thing, and he was like the hippie musician guy, and like he was like, yeah, it's just like a bunch of artists that get together and like jam. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like I can just like sit and watch people play music, whatever. But like we go and it's like everyone sits in a circle and it's like a sing along, and you like had to go down the line and each say like sing part of the song. And I was like, I did not sign up for this. Like what? I had to be like, la 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 la. I was like, I hate this so much. I hate this so much. So yeah, it's like he just really believed that music like brought joy and happiness to the world, which like I love music, but like not in the way that he does. Like I'm like, I think he didn't understand that I'm like, no, it brings like you, like your life force, but that's not true for all people. So yeah. But like the church thing he brought me to, he like sang in the choir for it, and he like so I was like kind of just sitting by myself, and it's like this huge church in LA that's like literally in a theater, so I'm like on the second level, like it's a whole fucking thing. And it's actually something that I would kind of like or I've heard of it before, and they talk about like manifestation and stuff, and I was like, I love that shit, but I've never gone. But I go, and you have to like wear a ribbon if it's your first time there. And then at one point they're like, okay, now everyone look over to someone who's wearing a ribbon, and everyone say welcome. So it's just like thousands of people staring at me being like, welcome. And I was like, no.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, it was really creepy. And like, it was like on TV and they're asking for money and stuff. Like it felt really creepy. I was like, this is weird. I'm surprised that this is what this is. But and then okay, my other dating experience is I go on a first date, and it's like from an app, and we're just like hanging out talking, and he says something about like what we're looking for or something, maybe, I don't know. And he's like, because because I'm already in a relationship. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, he's like, yeah, no, I have a girlfriend. And I was like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you on a date with me? And he's like, well, it's an open relationship. And I was like, what? So like, they're like polyamorous, basically.
Seems like he should have told you that before.
Exactly. And so I was they just opened their relationship, so it was new. And so I don't know, he was like reading books on polyamory and all these things. And he's like, some of them say you shouldn't tell the person until like 3 dates in. Other ones say that you should tell them before. And so I was the first person he'd gone out with like in that way. And I was like, well, as your fucking like example test date, I'm gonna let you know that you should tell them before.
Yeah, he just wasted your evening.
Yes, I was like, my time is valuable.
Buy me that drink so that I can go home later and keep swiping.
He did, yeah. He did. It was like a cool spot though that I hadn't been to before. It was like a little speakeasy, and we had really expensive whiskey, and He was actually cool. We ended up just like chatting and having fun, but like it was fucking bizarre. I was like, why am I on this date? This is not it went from a date to being like, all right, I guess we're just pals now. It was like buddies.
It's a bummer. Guilty confession. So you know that guy pulled up in the Aston Martin and kind of wowed you a little bit with that? I did the exact opposite of that. I was like, hey, let's go grab a bite at Wendy's. Or if I had a microphone, I'd drop it because
Boom.
Nothing cheaper than taking a girl to Wendy's on a first date.
Ooh.
But I did. We had a lovely time. I think, though, we were just like, okay, we both worked a long time today, and we live in sort of the same area, and it's like we're both kind of hungry, but not in the mood to do anything except for, get some food and then get some.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we live different lives.
She went. She agreed. She said, I fucking love Wendy's. And I was like, there. Oh, and then I was actually, like, we stayed friends after that. I was interested in dating her, but she wasn't really because she's from out of state. So she didn't want to be, neither of us really wanted to get involved with her knowing she's going to leave.
Right.
But then we were hanging out at a party at a bar, and a lot of people there. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, like we've been chill all night or whatever, like, A plus B equals, in the bedroom. Until like there's these two little shits. I don't know how to even describe them, but just assholes, like touching up on her and stuff. And she's clearly visibly uncomfortable with it. And I'm like, if like the kid's like, oh, you're 26, I'm 19. And the other one's like, I'm 21. And I said, I'm 34 and I'll beat your fucking ass if you don't quit touching.
Brett, yes.
She was like, at this. And I was like, okay, handle your business. So I kind of back off and let her do her thing. And I turn around the next moment, and look, and she's making out with both of them. And I go, what just happened?
What?
He assaulted to sexually turned on.
Wow.
Car.
Wow, that's special.
Her.
Well, I'm glad that you stood up for her rights.
I still would have, but it was just weird to me. But we weren't we weren't on a date or anything. We were just quote unquote. So she doesn't owe me anything in that regard, but it was kind of strange, like, to go out with this guy I guess you hooked up with once that you're still kind of like whatever about, and then I'm going to make out with these two guys that were making me super uncomfortable just a second ago. Like, it was weird.
It was very weird.
I thought maybe I was drunk, but I was sober. I stopped drinking much.
What's that?
I said I stopped drinking quite so much.
I did too.
Aren't we just full of gross?
We are. Look at us.
We're almost adults. I can't wait to... Oh, Kim. Well, let's take a quick break. What do you think?
Great.
All right. Hit the button. And we are back with me. It's me, Kim.
Hello, hi.
And we're going to go through your Tinder profile. As I recall, I got it. It's here. As I recall, I think last year you said you don't do Tinder.
Did I?
I think so, because I think you said Tinder is kind of more for hooking up and less about relationships or something along those lines, which sounds about right, and I agree.
Yeah. But I mix and matched them all year long. I couldn't do more than one, and I would just pick which one felt good at the moment. The reason that I liked Tinder recently is because you can write your own profile
Yeah.
and then just put it pictures. The other ones like Hinge is like it's just asking you dumb questions that I don't give a fuck about. I'm like, look, here's what I want to tell you about me, and I want to know what you want to tell me about you. I don't need to know I don't know what your favorite color is. Like, it's like, I get it. They're like, oh, here's fun questions to be able to talk about or whatever. But like, it just didn't do it for me. And a lot of them are like that, or like Bumble, maybe there wasn't enough space. Like I was like, look, I have my profile. Here it is. I don't know. That's just the most recent one I've used.
Totally cool. I dig it. So, first picture, let's see. It says Kim. So, about your name, that's great. You'd think a big celebrity like you would have to like go by another name like Josie the Outlaw or something. I don't know. Your head cocked to the side a little bit, and you got your new do.
Yep, I got all. I've shaved the side of my head.
I really like that. As someone who also shaves the side
Look at
head,
us.
yeah, twinsies. Like I mean, let's see here. Why is everything so blurry?
Got all pictures.
Okay. Here's one with you and Kat and Jack Skellington. Now, see, the thing is already on the first picture, I've already decided that I'm swiping up. Like, I'll probably pay $5 for a super swipe and swipe up. So, doing good. I'm really into Nightmare Before Christmas. You got friends. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Here's a picture of you and a dog. And you know me. I'm a crazy dog guy.
Yep.
Anybody who's seen any of my social medias know that my dog is numero uno. What's this song that you've got on here? I can't read it because it's blurry.
It's from Anna and the Apocalypse.
Anna and the Apocalypse? Isn't that a show that Family Guy put on?
No, it's the zombie Christmas musical. We did it. It's a movie. We did it for the podcast.
Well, then I heard it because I've heard every single episode except for Tragedy Girls.
Yeah.
I probably just need a refresher. You have Freddy Krueger claws.
Mm-hmm.
Guy.
It was our Christmas episode.
Oh, okay. I did listen to that. This next one is a view with Freddy Krueger claws because all men love the threat of death. We're all secretly seeking a woman who will haunt our dreams, has the ability to turn them into nightmares.
Great.
I kid. I'm just joking. I like horror, so automatically I'm like, if she actually knows who Freddy Krueger is, swipe up. We talked about this picture. Was this Mount Fuji?
No, it's a Costa Rica volcano. I think it's called Mount Ariel, something like that. I can't hear you again.
How about now?
Okay, yes.
Okay. This last picture just gives me the absolute chills.
The last one?
The last one. I mean, gosh, listener, I wish you could see it because she's looking directly into my soul and saying, Brett, I'm the one for you.
That's my headshot.
You aren't good enough for me. And that's when she on the other end swipes down on me. And I'm like, oh, my heart.
My new headshot. That's what that is.
You look fantastic.
Thank you.
Ooh, I was just thinking, Kim, we didn't say that you were an actress, but we also should say that you just started a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel that's ASMR. If anyone's into tapping ASMR, because I'm a hand model, and so I just did a bunch of tippity taps and scratches and crinkles and all that stuff. I actually have a horror one coming out. I already filmed it. I just was sick this week. I just need to upload it. But it's for all my horror friends. So
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Check that YouTube channel out. I'll put it in the description.
Send it to you.
Especially if you like a gorgeous set of hands.
They're models.
I said that. That was creepy. I made it weird. I made it into something it wasn't intended to be. Use it to fall asleep, not for other things, you sick bastards. Brett.
Did you read my profile? Is this what boys do? You don't even read it. See, this is the issue. This is the issue, Brett.
I can't see it. It's blurry. It says, okay, university, lives in Los Angeles, less than a mile away. Perfect. I'll be right there. I'm being 100% serious. I don't know if it's because we're on the phone call or something, but it's very, very blurry and hard to make out. Looking for a committed killing team. Terraforming that hopefully leads to marriage. Wow. I live life 10 the fullest and am excited.
You're killing me.
To where is the fuel? Love to believe it's a writing in my knife to leave the country once a year. To leave the country once a year. It's my life to leave the country once a year. This is like a game. Work, entertainment, healing workshops, and have a horror movie comedy pass. I told Kim, do you have a comedy pass?
I do.
That looks like a hashtag.
Stay alive.
Stay alive. Hate to pick favorites or where to go eat. Oh no. Why can no woman ever pick where to go eat?
I hate that.
In self-development, I think I can kick your ass. Hashtag Philly girl, and it definitely has some crystals in my blood.
Well, that wasn't quite my profile, but close.
I'm telling you, I'm going to take a screenshot right now so you can see what I'm seeing, and you will understand.
I understand exactly what you're looking at. I can get it to you if you want, but mostly it's just that I did make one change where, like, the very first line is like, I am looking for a committed long-term relationship that hopefully leads to marriage. And still, I date people that are like, ooh, I just got out of a relationship.
But do you have crystals in your blood?
I do, and next to my bed.
In your blood?
My blood is crystallized.
It's pretty bad. It is pretty badass. You could definitely kick my ass with crystal blood.
I'm an X-Men woman.
A X-person.
X-person.
Well, I'm sure you probably know the podcast game. Man, it's a ruthless machine. It's hard to get what you want to get to, and if you're not doing it just because it's fun, then what are you doing? No one has more fun than KK Sam's, and you're successful, I might add. Subscribe to that Patreon, people. But Let's Die. I have another podcast. Go listen to it. It's called Pokemon After Darkrai. It's got double the listenership of Let's Die. So, not doing KK Sam numbers, but it's troubling for Let's Die. And Let's Die is my baby. So, what did people in olden times do when like the bank's about to take the farm or something. They would marry off their daughters and shit to well-to-do families or whatever. So I was wondering, Kim
Yes.
Burns,
Yes.
I'm getting on your knee, right? Will your podcast marry my podcast?
I don't know what that entails.
The two would be inextricably linked. Hopefully I'm using that word correctly. And then we merge them until they have a baby podcast. Kim and Ket and Brett. Kim and Ket die. Maybe. Let's maybe. We'll workshop it. No name.
Well, don't I get like, some horses or something? Like, what comes with it?
Hang on, I gotta get off my knee. Your dowry, let's see, you'll get everything that Let's Die, or at least half of everything of that Let's Die owns. So you get half a microphone, half a headset, you get a couple of t-shirts, I reckon. You get half the proceeds of the online store, so approximately $3. And they take a huge cut of that shit.
Well, I do.
Oh, gosh. Hold the phone. Mom, get in here. Mom, we're recording the show.
Okay.
Kim, I just asked Kim's podcast to marry my podcast, and I needed a witness.
Okay.
Kim.
Yeah.
Do you promise to hold and cherish in sickness and death and forever, ever, ever, to hold the hand of my podcast and love it forever?
I do.
Do I, Brett, take Kim and Ket Stay Alive maybe and promise to do the same? I do. By the powers invested in me, by the church of whatever it was that I signed up for took me about 15 minutes. In the state of West Virginia, I now pronounce our podcasts non-binary construct together in a block. Podcast.
Ding, 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 ding.
The whole reason I wanted to do this show was so that I could do that one little bit, and so that I could title this "Marry My Podcast." Joke's on you. I'm actually ordained, and we're actually married now.
Uh-oh.
Turn the paperwork in, Kim. Broke your dating sabbatical. You better tell Ket. She's gonna be mad.
She is. Yeah, I don't know if I had full say of our podcast.
Well, I'm at least married to the Kim Stay Alive maybe part. Ket can and.
What?
Ket can have the and. The Ket can. Stay Alive maybe.
Live
And Brett.
and die.
Oh, and Brett died.
Brett dies.
Kim and Ket Stay Alive maybe, and Let's Brett Die. Perfect. I don't think there's a better way to end the show.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, and other people, constructs, deities, aliens. You're not aliens if you carry your home with you always in your heart. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for listening. Check out all the links in the description. KK Sam's, check out their Patreon, their YouTubes, Kim's hand model ASMR, all that stuff's going to be down there. We are all the places, rate, review, all that other crap. Happy Valentine's Day, y'all. Kim,
Yay.
happy Valentine's Day. Man, I don't know how to feel. I'm married now.
Wow. I did not think that this podcast would go in that direction, but
Can you do me, before we get off the show, can you do me because I need to have this recorded so I can hold you to it. Will you send Ket a text that just says, I got married, and that's it? No contact. Please?
okay.
Yes! We'll keep listening next year for Alive, Bret, Let's Bret Die, for thrilling third conclusion or something or another. We'll figure out what happened. Ket probably would kill me in real life. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week. And if we're going to die, let's die together.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to leave us a rating and a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Let's Die, the His vs. Hers Guide to the Apocalypse, and Pokemon After Darkrai. Check our description for links to all the things, including Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and our TeePublic store at teepublic.com/user/teamcyanide. Also, there's a link to our new YouTube that has the back catalog of all of our episodes. That's it. See you later. Bye.